Welcome back or welcome to Kind of Hot, Kind of Healthy. We are super excited. We have a guest episode today. And whenever we have guest episodes, we like to do a little intro, right? If you're new here, Maddie's making a lot of noise. It's fine.
Sorry, I forgot to turn the mic off. I was trying to move it. You want to
It's
just start over
fine.
really quick?
No, it's fine. It's
Okay.
totally fine. It's authentic.
Continue.
They're
Authentic.
here for the authenticness of us. But Maddie and I will let her introduce herself, but I am Allie. I am a health and fitness coach for women who are not unmotivated, they're overwhelmed, and they are looking for a simple routine to lose weight because you've Googled it, you've looked it up, you've tried all of these crazy ass solutions, and you don't need that. And I got into this, I get like niche of coaching because I gained 30 pounds after being diagnosed with agoraphobia because I was overwhelmed as fuck. So I know from personal experience how to redefine what fitness looks like for you during different chapters of your life. And it's something that it just gets to be really simple and easy when you allow it to, right? Like when you stop trying to just like be this old robot version of yourself because we're all afraid to change and we're all afraid to like do something that looks different. That's a little short tidbit of what I do. We will drop both of our Instagram handles in the show notes below. So if you resonate with either one of us, you know where to find us. Over to
Um,
you, Maddie.
Catching the mic. I am Maddie Martinez, and I also am a women's health and fitness coach. And I help the women that are putting in the work, but they're not getting the results. So you might characterize yourself as a perfectionist, as someone who is pushing so hard, and then you get very frustrated. You're like, because why am I not seeing any of the results for all the effort I'm putting into? You're hard on yourself. You get really upset when you miss your steps, and then you fall into that self-sabotage spiral. You are the person that is the hardest worker at work, but you cannot connect the dots when it comes to your fitness and getting lean and strong. And that is what I do. Connect the dots, connect the dots.
Connect
make,
the docs and the dots.
make it simple. And that is what I help women do. And it's funny because a lot of my ladies that I work with, they are like powerhouses at work, and they're like, why
Hmm.
can't I get that with my health and my body and get lean? And that's what we do. So, like Ali said, we'll have our handles in the caption. But also, if you are totally new here, we do a guest episode once a month. It's always the second Wednesday, the second episode of the month. Otherwise, we are catching up on pop culture things. We're talking about our life and how we're navigating different seasons of our life. Allie's getting married. We've been talking about her dieting phase, what that's been looking like. Um, excuse me, coffee burp. And we were talking about different things. Like we did a episode. This will be 2 months ago on Sister Wives. So if you are not a YouTube stan yet, go to YouTube and you can watch it. It's even better on YouTube. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of about us.
Yeah, this is a health podcast, but it's health meets pop culture meets reality TV. Because a lot of the times, number one, when you are trying to learn more about losing weight, but you want it in a capacity that is not super sciency, right? You want to be able to relate it to your real life. So we'll talk about situations that we're seeing on the Housewives or any Bravo TV shows about these women that are doing all of the craziest shit to lose weight, to tone up, to look leaner. And then it puts this really skewed perception in your head of like, oh, do I have to do all of that? And it's like, no, this is where we talk about the simple things you can do. But we also treat this like just girlfriends having conversation because as Maddie and I were both business owners, we work from home. We needed a place where we could connect and also connect with other women who are interested in the same things, who want to feel seen and heard, and who also just want to like fucking shoot the shit about the reality, cringe, pop culture stuff, like a place where you are learning, but you're also feeling like you're sitting with your girlfriends having a cup of coffee. Why
Mhm.
am I double fisting? I had just finished an energy drink and I'm having a coffee. Like,
That is
why?
dangerous. That's dangerous for you.
It's fine. Honestly, it's fine. That was a I just been it's I've been chilling with that for a little bit, but that's what we do here. Do I promote doing that? Probably not, but I don't know. I'm a little bit feeling tired today. So here we are.
Same. And I'm not going to get into why, but same.
No, but
That's
same.
that's that's for later. Um, we have our guest Lauren coming on here. And if you are a diehard Lauren fan, I'm excited to talk to her. She is also a women's health coach. There's lots of different things we're going to talk about with her when it comes to dating after divorce, decluttering her life, all types of stuff. But my brain just like stopped functioning right now, so
That's
that's
okay.
also apparent. But Allie, take it away.
So I actually see her in the waiting room right now. So we
Perfect.
are going to jump right into the interview. But again, if you are new here, show us some love. If you like this episode, share it on your stories, share it with a friend. If you are here to support Lauren, that's all.
So, welcome, Lauren. We are really excited to have you here. Lauren is a, why do I always forget the name of like when you work at a business, a regular job? What is it like your coworkers? Lauren's not a coworker, but it feels like it when we're in the mastermind. But she is a woman's health coach, weight loss coach for, wow, working moms. My brain totally does not work today. Apparently, earlier it was not working either. But we wanted to have Lauren on because she focuses on decluttering. She focuses on moms that are working, and just I like your podcast with Marcy. So go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners.
Okay, Maddie, Allie, thanks so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here. I have been a coach for about 3 years now. I'm 45, so you may ask, what was I doing the rest of my life? I had a whole different career as an executive in kind of startup worlds and software space and leading HR teams, and had my own health journey over the past decade now. I can't believe it. Started in my mid 30s when I had two young toddlers at the time and just realized my body wasn't keeping up. At mid 30s, I was having knee pain, back pain, and was carrying around 75 extra pounds. So fast forward, 10 years, and I've changed careers and built a coaching business out of kind of my own story so that I can help other, high achieving, executive level working moms to be able to figure out how to make it all happen, because it feels really impossible, especially in the fast paced corporate, especially in the startup world. It was nonstop. And once I figured out how to do it, I wanted to shout from the rooftops to more people how they could do it too. And now here
No,
we
I love that. And honestly, I was looking at your profile last night because I'm notorious for not following any coaches because for me it's just like too much and I get like FOMO or I get like I'm not doing enough. So
Oh,
like
I get it. I'm the queen of muting people. So I'll
oh,
follow them.
I
If someone
totally
follows me, I
follow.
follow them back, but then I mute their stories because I get it. You get
Yeah.
cluttered, right? And you get in
Yes.
scrolling, you can go down a rabbit hole. So
Yes, and I was
Yep.
looking at your transformation, and I was like, and we're gonna put it up a video. So if you're not following us, subscribed on YouTube, jump on our YouTube channel. But I was like, who is that? Like you look like alien, like completely different. Like Allie, I'll have to say, I was just like, who is that person? Like
I know.
crazy different.
I know. And I'm tall. I'm 5'11". So
Hmm.
I could carry weight, and I didn't really notice it until I was having pain. And now,
Mm,
in your mid 30s, and which, by the way, is, I know, probably it's older than you both are, but that's still young. Like, and to
Hmm.
have pain starting at that age and trying to figure it out. And a lot of it was I was just carrying around a lot of extra weight. But yeah, no, I feel today my life is a completely different physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm a whole different person now.
Yeah, no, you look like just very like when I saw those pictures, I was like, that looks like yeah, like someone that works in corporate America, but
Mm.
just like you look lighter, not just weight wise, but like you can tell just like the energy looks
energy.
lighter. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
and it is. But I had all the suits and the whole wardrobe back then to prove I was that corporate working woman. I've kept like two around just in case. To this day I'm like, and this is not, I'm all about the uncluttered life, right?
Uh-huh.
No, I should probably just have two suits, right? No one even wears suits anymore. You guys have probably never owned a suit, right?
No.
I've had like random pieces like I
But you've
did
never owned a power suit.
No, but like I kind of would want one. Like they go kind of fun. Like I have like that Burberry jacket that I wear. Like
Oh,
it's
I
a
like that.
men's
That's
jacket.
a statement piece. That's a
Yeah.
statement piece. Do you
Y-
know what I bet you don't own?
What?
Nylons. We used to have to
No.
wear those nude
Yeah.
nylons. We were required. This is how old I am. You couldn't have bare legs. And you could do tights, but like you also had to have nylons if you had a skirt or a dress.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
What are those different from pantyhose?
No, that's the same thing. Pantyhose, nylons. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have pantyhose.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I love that. I wear it with like a mini skirt.
No.
Oh, okay. Tights I'll do, but I'm never wearing pantyhose ever again.
I love the look of it. To me, I'm like, ooh, it's sexy.
I grew up going to
Oh yeah,
a
that's a lot of
Catholic
us.
school my whole life until like up through end of high school. And we had to wear tights every day. I don't want to look at a fucking tight. I don't want to put it on. I don't care if it's like fashionable. I'm like, never again
Oh, I get
because
that. Allie, I did the
yeah,
opposite. I went to
yeah,
1 year of high school, Catholic school. So I had 1 year of a uniform. That was enough. I get that.
the worst. Like cold ass mornings in Massachusetts, putting on your little tights. Yeah,
You're from Massachusetts?
yeah.
Or can
I
you
saw,
do
yeah,
you share where you live? Or is this something we
yeah.
can't?
I grew up, no, it's okay. I grew up in West Roxbury.
Oh, funny. So I'm in Arlington.
Yeah, I saw on your one of the posts, so I was creeping you. It said like greater Boston area or something like that. And I was like, oh, I wonder where. But I didn't want to like ask you, but I'm glad you asked me because I'll answer anything. That's so funny. That's so
Yeah.
funny. It's always such a small world. Like it's really actually wild. Like all of us in some capacity like have a connection, and then it's like, oh, we are actually much closer than you think about. It's really weird.
Oh yeah. And now with all my like online friends, as I call them, my
Yeah.
my best friend in the real world, she always laughs about it. She's like, I feel like you have a coaching sorority of online friends. And I was like, that's exactly what I have. Yes.
It honestly is. And but
That's
honestly,
iconic.
it's also like the lifeline because I think about how I literally have like two normal friends, like
Well, I have
two,
two also.
yeah, just two. That's it. And it's like, and it's just like you can't, I don't want to say like complain or like be like, oh, this is happening. You know what I mean? But it's just like they don't get it on the same level of like what's happening. It's just nice to have like so many like, sorority coach friends because then they just get you. They really
Mm.
get you what you're going through.
Yeah, totally agree.
So talk to us about, I'm just curious, you were in HR, right?
Yes.
So what was the jump? Like you said figured out, wow, this is like really transforming my life, what I'm doing, and then you just like were like, I'm quitting and then started your business?
Not exactly. That would be a dream. I could have done that. So 5 years ago, it was COVID
Oh,
2000.
wow.
I have no idea why, but I started an Instagram page for fun.
Mhm.
And I was the head of HR at a startup company that we were like, it was chaos because we sold a product to K through 12 public schools. Well, guess what?
Mhm.
They weren't trying to buy software at that time, right? They were just trying to feed
Oh.
kids and try to,
Yeah.
figure out Zoom remote school. Well, our product actually, so the first couple of months was really scary. And my kids were also home because there was
Mhm.
no school.
Mhm.
And I'm a single mom. So it was all me, right? Like all me navigating that. And it was a lot. But at the same time, I don't know, I just had this, I felt like I just needed something else. And let's be honest, we all did have more time because we couldn't leave our house,
Hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
I just started an Instagram page for fun. I called it This Life Uncluttered because I had been going through this, I don't know, couple year journey of trying to like simplify my life. I realized as I started losing weight and trying to keep it off, the key was to have less decisions to make each day. And
Mhm.
this is what I teach my clients every day, these busy working moms. They have decision fatigue, and the more you have to decide, even like what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, who's taking the kids to drop off today, all those things are just taxing on them. And then by the end of the day, this is when moms just like lose it at dinner, right? And it's just all downhill after that, and bedtime is like a
Mm.
nightmare. So less decisions. And so I just started sharing about that, and I also just started sharing my workouts in the morning. And as I did that, it started to grow, and it grew like crazy. I mean, I can't get my account to grow like this right now. Like,
Mm.
it
Mhm.
wasn't a
Same.
business. It was not a business. And it was just an inside, like kind of like diary of like just sharing
Mhm.
my life. And I ended up starting like coaching people for free almost in the DMs, which I know you're not supposed to do, but like these people are so lovely and they
Been
need
there, done that.
help. Yeah. They
We
need
all.
help. They were like, so I was enjoying it. Then my company was doing really well after that because of actually COVID helped it. And we were getting acquired. And during that acquisition, and I had been with multiple startups and like it's a whole process. And so I knew I would stay on to help them with that. There was a position for me to stay on. They weren't getting rid of our leadership team, but I wasn't really sure if I would stay or not because I'd been there 6 years and startups, that's like a lifetime. So I was just kind of exploring other options. I gave a long notice because it was an acquisition. So I gave, this can probably sound nuts when you hear this, but 6 months notice so that
Mm.
we could like find my replacement and onboard them and transition them properly. And so I started interviewing and it was big roles. I mean, like C-level, chief people officer and publicly traded companies and lots of money, lots of stock options, like big bucks. And these recruiters probably wanted to kill me because I'd go to every interview. Well, it was all Zoom back then. So I'd go to the Zoom interview. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. There's like there's something off with all of them. And
Mhm.
then eventually what I realized, I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I was done. And
Mm.
I don't know if it was the combination of just burnt out from COVID and, HR is a drag anyways you can imagine. So
Mhm.
I felt this draw to coaching, but I had no certifications. I only had my own experience and
Mhm.
I'm a single mom with lots of financial responsibilities, like with my kids.
Mhm.
So I was lucky enough to get a consulting job through a friend of a friend. And that was great because for the first time ever, it was billable hours. Like I was billing them. I could only bill 45 hours a week. And I know that
Mhm.
sounds like, wait, what do you mean that's a full-time job? But for what I was working in the startup space, that was like a lot less.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I gave me more time to start getting certifications. So I got like my NASM CPT and with fitness, I got a macro nutrition certification. I started getting some program design courses. The first one I got was a nutrition one, and I just kind of put out on Instagram and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna like part-time take on some clients. I'm gonna take 5 on. Let me know if you're interested." I wish I could do this today.
Oh.
I filled those 5 spots in a day.
Literally.
In a day.
Oh, the times. I miss those times.
Yeah, back in 2000. I said, I'm gonna take on this was my
Like everybody was just on their phones constantly and they're like gaining weight like crazy because you're home, you're drinking more, you're having snacks, you're doing like
Mhm.
nothing. So yeah, I love
yeah.
that. That's iconic.
Yeah. And the cool thing is several of those clients are still with me today, which is really awesome.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. The other, and even the ones that aren't, I'm still like super friends with because they took a chance on me, right? Like I had
Yeah.
one certification and they were like my guinea pigs almost in the beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so that it just kind of built from there. I was then for a while I was doing both and full time. So I was still consulting full time and then I built up my roster. I got up to about 25 clients and I built up to 40 clients and I was still working full time. And
Wow.
and that's when I was finally like my HR contract was wrapping up. Thank goodness. It went to part-time for a little bit and then it wrapped up officially. And then it was all in and I've been coaching ever since. So it's been over two, almost, yeah, 2 years full-time coaching, almost into 3. And yeah, it's been great. I built out now I have a membership in addition to one-on-one coaching, and kind of some courses and other stuff too.
That is so cool. I love good, like, not transformation, but like journeys, like entrepreneurship, journeys. They're never, you know, smooth sailing, but like it's just interesting to see how it kind of all comes together.
Yeah, I mean, and some people can, maybe, if they have a safety net or maybe they have a spouse who can, support them and kind of just go cold turkey. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that wasn't my situation. So it did require a little bit of, bootstrapping, getting in
Hmm.
there and doing both. But I would never change it. It's been the best decision I ever made.
I love
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah, and I think that sometimes in the space that we are in, there are, because I started my business when I like had just turned 21. But I was under the impression that like if this doesn't work, then I have to do something else. And there have been like times in business where like I'll pick up other jobs or do different things because like I'm like, well, I'm gonna make it fucking work because like
Mhm.
I've already done this so far and like it's my passion and I love it. And there's like sometimes in a lot of these like bro settings, it's like do this and this and this and you'll never have to like work another job in your life and just like it's
Mhm.
totally unrealistic. So I love in sharing your story, you're like, I'm a single mom. Like, I got to do what I got to do. Like, I am keeping it so real. And that's super refreshing, especially like in this like day and age of coaching. It's a lot of unrealistic things with growing a business.
Oh yeah. And I did the bro mentorship the first year. So I brought in
Same.
all of my
I did not.
and I did learn a fair amount and I don't like totally regret it. But there were plenty of things that I was like, oh no, this is not something I can do long term. Mostly the
Yeah.
sales tactics. Like
Yeah.
I don't even
Mm,
have, I rarely have, I don't even like to call them sales calls now, and I don't even really have them. It's more like just making sure we're a good fit. And,
Yeah.
I'm totally transparent with pricing. Like people already know up front. There's no like, and, but it was more so like, you have to do one-on-one. It has to be one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were telling me to start hiring coaches and I was like their star pupil. They were like, look at Lauren. She's, first having
mm,
this banner year. And I was like, but this isn't what I want. I don't want to have
mhm.
been managing people for 20 years. I didn't want
Yeah.
people. I wanted to have my own thing. And then now the mastermind that Maddie and I are both part of, she's helped us to like figure out how to do it our own way and what feels
Yeah.
best for us. And building out my membership has been incredible because I'm still having an impact. And it's one to many in a way that has been helpful for them and me in terms of my time. So I really like the model I've got right now.
No, that's
Love
great. And I
it.
think that just like with health and fitness, you have to have the model that makes the most sense to you. And it's like, how many clients have we've all gotten collectively that they're like, well, this coach put me on their method they use for all their clients and I hate it and I don't want to try something else and hate it again, right? And because so much of the health industry is so cookie cutter. So
Mm-hmm.
like use this method. Like even when I was looking for my health coach, there was a big there's like a couple big, I can't even remember the name, big coaching in programs, places for like autoimmune stuff, for whatever, for gut health stuff. And when I got in the call with them, they were like, "Oh, we have all of our clients do A, B, and C." And I go, "You have all of your clients do A, B, and C?"
Red flag.
And yeah, I thought that was so weird. And I was like, I don't want whatever cookie cutter thing you're making everyone do. And I obviously did not hire them, but I thought that was so weird and like off-putting that like everyone has to do the same thing. Like,
Oh
how does
yeah.
that make sense?
Well, and Maddie, because I know you and I work with the same functional coach, Julie,
Mhm.
she's the complete opposite, right?
Yes.
It's so personalized. I feel so taken care of and
Mhm.
handheld through the
Mhm.
experience. And I know it is just like, which, of course she has similar things she uses across the board, but in terms of when and what she's doing with me, and there's no way it looks identical to somebody else.
No, I'm sure we're doing some similar things, probably like eating arugula. But that's probably the only similar thing.
I have all my clients eating arugula now too, by the way.
Oh, I have 4 containers of arugula in the fridge right now. I was like,
So
I'm
my
just gonna
son, so my 14-year-old son loves it too now too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going through it so fast. We're like rabbits.
I love it. It's so funny. But yeah, but that, seeing that difference and like it's so funny how much of like we talk about this, me and Allie, like so much of our business building it's just so similar to like health journeys and figuring
Mm-hmm.
out your way and have to use different methods and tools for different things. But I really want to talk about the decluttering because that is something I'm also passionate about. And I'm like looking at my desk right now, and it is not decluttered. This office looks good, but my real office does not. So you said you had your biggest like weight loss through simplifying, through decluttering. Like what did that look like in terms of like things that you were doing, like actual objects in your life?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm always been like someone that feels the need to have things in a organized manner.
Hmm.
When I was a kid growing up, I like couldn't do my homework until I like had my room like
Same.
a certain way. So that is just me. That is just not
Mm-hmm.
who I am. Now my home wasn't that way. Like my home growing up was um let's just say not that way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. My parents to this day, their basement we like shop for furniture down there. Like when we have like every time we move to a new place, because they literally have a whole nother set of everything in their basement. Like,
Wow.
yes, my sons up until I just moved this year, they had a dresser that was my dresser growing up. I found in my parents' basement. So there was a lot of stuff, but so I like things to be organized. But it wasn't until when I got divorced and we literally divided a household into two, that was my like easiest way to be like, oh,
Mm.
this is
Mhm.
my opportunity to like really do this and just have less, like even their toys, like we split their toys up and I realized we just had so much, like we had so much stuff when they were young and they didn't even need half of it. Like
Mhm.
kids are like cats and dogs. You give them like an empty box and they'll like play,
Hmm.
you know. Meanwhile, we have like hundreds of toys, all these little toys everywhere. So I don't know. Over the years, while I was going through my journey, I realized less stuff meant less things to keep up with and less decisions to make each day. And then I also realized that played into like meals, right? Like
Mhm.
if I, had less, visual clutter around the decisions I was making related to food, like if when I opened up my pantry, I could actually like meal plan more efficiently because when I looked in there, I wasn't overwhelmed and just wanted to like say, screw this, I'm not putting a meal plan together. I'm just
Mhm.
going to go to the grocery store and throw a bunch of other stuff in my cart. Because I see this to this day when I start working with clients and they say the same thing. They're like, I'm just overwhelmed by looking at my pantry.
Mm.
The idea of meal planning feels like there's no way I could do that. So I started putting
Mhm.
these little things in place and then I realized like, oh, this is just easy. When I was doing protein shakes, like having all this stuff together, right? Like having everything have a home and have it make sense. So I created what I call these like uncluttering principles. And I
Mhm.
teach them to members in the collective, my membership, to help them like, it's not me telling them you have to do it this way. It's me helping them build their own system to keep it simple so they have less decisions to make at home each day for themselves.
Mm. Yeah, that's even like with the physical stuff in the home, like my parents' house is just like it's an organized chaos where I like now I think it's kind of funny too because I also see this on TikTok. It's like millennial gray is like a trauma response from
Yes.
living in like insane houses that like have shit in every corner and honestly went through that phase for a minute. But then I was like, no, wait, I like color. Like there is a way to have balance, but it's so challenging to focus and to be productive when things feel out of place or they're just in random piles. So then topple like put that on top of like also trying to like put a meal together, lose weight. It's like, well, of course that makes so much sense because I can't like I didn't relate to the homework thing because I just never wanted to do the homework. But working, if my office is a mess or the bedroom's a mess or whatever, it's like I can't focus because I know the space is not organized and therefore my energy doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, visual clutter is a distraction. And
Yeah.
even if you don't even recognize it, it's happening subconsciously. And the
Yeah.
little decisions are everywhere. Like I've talked about this often, and I know Maddie, you and I were just talking about this, like the deciding what to wear each day. So I call them seasonal uniforms. And so wearing, this, it's like literally the same 3/4 length sleeve shirt. I have this in 5 colors. In the summer, it's a high neck tank, like sleeveless tank. Literally, I have one in the same color. But so I don't have to think about it and I
Mm,
works for my body and I'm not, I used to remember before work, I would have a pile of clothes
Yep.
and then I would get home at the end of the day and then I would see the pile and I'd have to deal
mm-mm.
with it. And it was like, because I couldn't decide what to wear and nothing made me feel good and I felt uncomfortable. Once you figure out, okay, this is what actually works for me, and then I just keep repeating it, it's so freeing. Your mornings are like so much less drama.
Mhm.
Literally. It's like the clothes go from the bed to the chair, to the chair
Yeah.
to the bed, and it's like I can't even think about it. And so how did you just kind of like experiment with what feels good, what looks good, and then kind of like make mental notes of it? Or how did you get to that? Because I know a lot of people also listening, whether they feel confident in their body or not, it is also challenging to go into stores and know what to pick because
Yeah.
that can be frustrating in itself. You're like, oh, I've picked all the wrong pieces and now I feel horrible about my body and I just want to go home.
Yeah. I will say I didn't start figuring this out until I'd already lost the weight. So it
Right.
definitely
Mhm.
helped when I was uncomfortable and heavier. And that was, do you guys, are you too young? Do you remember LuLaRoe?
Yep.
Oh.
I
So
remember.
man, I was the queen of, I had so many of those moo tops and dresses and
Oh my God.
I was rocking that stuff. So I had hundreds of those pieces. Like
Wow.
they never, and they never felt right. So I
Yeah.
will say once I got to a place where I had more body confidence, because I like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't think you can't do this at any size. It was just from my experience, that's when I did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think if you're not sure about your size, I know people have hired people to help them with it. And I would say that's
Mhm.
an awesome decision to invest in because they actually know how to say like, oh, well, if even where you're comfortable or uncomfortable or where things tug and you're this or that, they'll tell you like, oh, well, this is the type of silhouette that would work versus this.
Mm.
Mhm.
I'm not that skilled at it. I just figured out what worked for me. But at the same time, I was following a woman when I started my page. I don't know, I just found her page too. Her name is Paige, by the way. And it's called Style This Life. And she has a great Instagram account if people want to follow it.
I
She's
have
a
to look it up.
yeah, she's a teacher in Colorado and she has a mom of four. And hers is all about a like more minimal wardrobe. And she actually counted the pieces. And so I love that idea of like, oh, I don't want to have a lot of stuff. And so I just kind of got inspiration from that. Now, I actually did for a year count how many times I wore stuff like she did. Now there's no way I'm counting that because I wear the same thing over and over.
Right.
But it was so interesting to see how minimal she had gotten. She was also one of the people like me that had a closet full of stuff and she had a bunch of little kids and was like, why am I wasting my time on this? Also, the wasted time on buying stuff and returning it and that whole process of like how much wasted time and shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shopping.
Oh, her outfits, sorry not to interrupt, but her outfits, I like some of them. Like the
Oh yeah.
very
She's the
and
complete
well,
opposite of me. She's short and petite. I'm like tall, but and she works out, so she posts her like
yeah,
stream
her
stuff.
shoulders are great.
Yes. So anyways, I was just like, and we were kind of, again, I've never met her, but I would consider her maybe an online friend. So I just kind of like started chatting with her and following her. And so got some inspiration from that. And then I kind of, the last couple of years, I realized like, oh, these really are almost like seasonal uniforms. Although Maddie, how did you call it? What pieces? You had a name for it that I loved, that your pieces.
Uh uh the statement pieces, is that what you mean? Or
Yeah,
do you
the
yeah,
statement
or the hero pieces. Like I
hero
have
pieces.
hero.
I
Yeah, so like
love that.
I have very small amount of items in general in my closet, but also that have patterns because I get very dysregulated really fast with patterns, with colors. Like even this shirt's a little bit much for me. Like this, I don't know what you would call it, like watercolor type of thing. Like if it was just blue, I'd like it even more. But I like things to be very like neutral, one color, one thing. But I do have a few items that have a pattern, that have more of a brighter color or that have something on them, but like
I
very
like
few
that. The
items.
hero pieces you can kind of like bring in and spice things up.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just it makes life so much easier. I have enough to deal with between my two boys and the business and everything else. It's
Mhm.
like I don't have time. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, we were just talking, well, when this comes out, it'll be 2 months later, but I had just got I had a gift card to Gap and my sister was like, "Go there and get your basics." So I was gonna get like one shirt, like a regular kind of shirt in like 6 colors. And I love anything high neck. So I found a couple high neck pieces and I was going to get them in like 6 different colors. Gap failed me so hard because like on the, I just popped my earphone out. On the back of it, it's like poorly made. So there was all this extra fabric on the back
Oh,
and it looked terrible. So I literally returned everything. Now I'm like, let's just go to Old Navy. So
I'll
we're
tell
gonna
you, I'm a huge fan of Banana Republic Factory. So for the basics,
Mm,
it's so
Mm-hmm.
this shirt is the softest shirt ever, and that's why I own it in like 5 colors. And then the high
mhm.
neck tank, same thing, Banana Republic Factory. I promise.
What's the difference?
It's a little bit cheaper than Banana Republic.
Oh,
But
can you order it
those
online?
pieces, yes, you can get online.
Oh,
Those
okay.
pieces, and it's one of those ones they always say they're 40% off. And I'm like, you obviously you're just like, this isn't right, right?
Yeah.
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 But they yeah, they're like super soft and I haven't found them on Banana. I usually see them only on Banana Republic Factory. So
Okay, I'll have to look at that one. Yeah, I love keeping like that was like my big thing for this year. I was like, I'm going to start actually wearing clothes. And we were just in New York City, and well, not that I was a nudist,
Yeah.
but wearing
But
normal.
wearing outfits
Dressing up.
versus, yeah, just like
Yes,
being a bum and
Yeah.
wearing
100%.
whatever. Yeah.
And when we went to New York City, I brought how many outfits? I think 6 outfits or 5 outfits, and I actually wore them all, and I was like, "Wow, it's like the first trip that I like my outfits. I don't feel like I'm just walking around New York City wearing just athleisure wear like I wear every day of my life." And I actually liked the pictures, but I took
You know what you
time to
should
think.
do?
What?
Do you have like so I have like a Polaroid printer that like connects to
Uh-huh.
my phone. You should like get one of those and print out your outfits and like put them in like a lookbook. And then when you're like,
Oh,
where
that's such a
I'm
good
traveling, like
idea.
where like I these are my fall outfits, these are my spring outfits, these could be versatile because I feel like that would be like your brain would really like that. Or you could like save it
I
in an
would.
album on your phone. But I'm about like the fun project. I'm like, ooh, this
That's so
like is a craft. Like I feel excited about it. And then it can like kind of like it doubles as like maybe a coffee table book.
That is so
Love it.
fun. I need to get a
I love
Polaroid.
a project. I love a
Oh,
project.
I
I
think I think I need this link to the Polaroid printer thing for your phone.
Yeah, yeah.
same,
I'll
same.
find it.
I
It's
think my oldest
iconic.
son would love that.
And
I love that.
it peels off and it's sticky.
Oh,
Oh, how fun. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I need to
Mm-hmm.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is like it just gave me a God, brain fog. We've been working on this brain fog for a while. It is not alleviating. It's that the damn yeast, if you know what I'm talking about, Lauren. Um, but I used to collect Pokemon cards. Like I was like a big tomboy when I was little. So as soon as you said like keep it, like I just thought the little slots,
Just
like
a little, yeah.
yeah.
I had
oh,
this like weird chapter of my life where my dad and I would go to like Red Sox games all the time. And after every game, he would be like, "Oh, let's like go get like something in the souvenir shop." And every time I would be like, "Oh, I want like baseball cards." And you'd buy like it's like a brown bag and it has like a ton of baseball cards. What the fuck was I doing? Why? Like, did I ever? Oh, no, I kept taking them and I would put them in a box. Like, I never looked at them. I don't know who I was trying to be, what I was trying to do. I
I love
probably
it.
liked the lore of it. You don't know what you're gonna
Uh-huh.
get, but I never looked at them. It's so bizarre.
I
But
had a sticker book. I remember stickers.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
stickers.
Some of them were smelly, like scratch and smell.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, such good nostalgia. Such good nostalgia.
Our hoarding habits.
I want to take a left turn and talk about dating because listening to your
Mm.
podcast, don't remind me, I can do it. Wellness real life.
Yeah, wellness for real life. Yeah.
Yes, got it. And you guys were talking about dating, you and Marcy, my other friend, and we're gonna have her on here soon. We were talking about dating, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting because I think when I started listening, it was like way back. Had you were still with your boyfriend at the time. This is
Yep.
before you guys broke up, but you were just talking about the relationship and X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I wonder, as a divorced woman with children, like when do you allow your partner, boyfriend, whoever, to meet your kids, or like what works for you?
Yeah. Oh, so first of all, let's just say dating in your 40s as a single divorced mom is horrible. It's really
Oh,
I just need to put that out there. I know
uh-huh.
dating
Where are
is
you
horrible at
meeting
any age.
people? Like, are you
We're not-
putting yourself on the apps? Are you going to
Yeah.
different places?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the only place for a single middle-aged woman to meet anyone is on the apps because
Mm.
it's not all my married friends are like, why don't you meet someone at like a baseball or basketball game for my kids? I'm like, you mean another dad from the team? Like, no, like that's
Yeah.
not happening. I'm not dating one of my
Mm.
kids' friends' parents. And also they're all married. So yeah, on the apps. So let's see, I've been divorced 6 years.
Mhm.
And I met someone pretty quickly after when I first got divorced and dated him for a while. I did introduce him to the kids after we'd been seeing each other 9 months.
Mhm.
And everyone's different on this, right? Like some couples wait a long time, like years. I have friends who literally have their significant other, their kids have not met, and they've been together for over 5 years. And it's just,
Wow.
Wow.
yes. And it's kind of like, oh, it's just our time when I don't have the kids. Others introduce them immediately. Like if you're a single mom and you don't have, literally you're 100% a single mom, right? Like you don't co-parent. I co-parent, right? Like they're with their dad too sometimes. Um, how you have to, right? Like, how would you
Mhm.
ever, so I don't know. I think here's the ironic thing. I required us to put, I didn't require, I said we should put in our divorce agreement that we have to wait 6 months of dating someone before we introduce to the kids. And he was fine with that. And I thought I would need it for him. Like in my mind, I was like, he's gonna have a revolving door of women. No, first person he met, he's married to now and has another child with. And meanwhile, I have introduced my kids to 2 people so far. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was me. I needed this for me. And it's like, that has been a lot of unpacking there and, unnecessary guilt. And even he has been like, why would you guilt yourself over this? There's nothing wrong. Like the people you introduced to them were nice guys. Like they were good
Mhm.
people. They weren't father figures. They didn't live with you. They, like it wasn't
Mhm.
that. And they weren't really impacted either way when they went away. Like it wasn't, and they still talk about them and say nice things about them sometimes. And
Mhm.
so, but it is awkward. It's like, I think the first time I waited 9 months, the second time I waited about 7 months, just see if it felt right. And both times I truly did think I was going to be with that person long term. Um,
Mhm.
it is Someone described this really well. I think Marcy talked about this on our podcast. When you have kids involved, it's in your dating and, thinking about introducing the families, it's like a business acquisition. It's like companies
Mhm.
are getting acquired and merged.
Mhm.
And if you think about, and if you've heard about, I don't know if you guys have experience in like the corporate world or not, but like those are always disasters. Like mergers and acquisitions are notorious for like having like all these issues because, well, this culture operates
Yeah.
this way and this culture operates that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Now it's like, it's not only like, okay, am I attracted to this person? Do we have similar values? For me, are they over at least 5'11" or 6 feet? Because I'm really tall. So I like,
Mhm.
can I just take a minute? I get really frustrated when shorter women are think like, do you want height? Because like I need the height ladies. Like leave those men for me. So
That's so real. That is so real.
Uh,
like someone who's 5'4", who's like, I only date women guys who are 6 feet. Who are you?
Like, bitch, you're good with like a 5'10", 5'11". You'll be
Like all
fine.
those things. And then, do they parent similar to you or not? Like there's all of,
Right.
and also
oh.
I don't drink anymore. So like, are they like lifestyle wise, are they active? Like I'm super active, so all these
Yeah.
different things like, lining up, financial values, whatever, all of it. It's the kid piece makes it really complicated.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's been an adventure. Yeah, when we recorded that podcast, it was like right around our 1 year anniversary or so, I think, and things
Mhm.
were really great. And
Yeah, it was. It was.
yeah, and then it got complicated again, not because of him necessarily, but because of his like family situation and ours not being able to, have any type of togetherness. And I'm not looking to
Mhm.
like move in with someone or like get married or anytime soon, anything like that. But it was there was a lot of extenuating circumstances. So it
Mhm.
Yeah.
got messy, it got complicated, and it wasn't really what I wanted. And so
Mhm.
it's not, it is, I'm sure, it's just complicated.
Yeah. I I can't even like imagine like my sister, she'll be 31 and she tells me, all about her dating stuff and I've been with my fiance for almost 10 years. We'll get married on our 10-year anniversary. I'm 27 by the way. So like when I always say that, I'm like, Jesus, people probably think he like is just fucking like not showing up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we've been dating for 10 years. But no, we met in college, whatever. So my sister will tell me her dating stories. I'm always like, holy fuck, this is so crazy. And then you add kids into the mix. You add families if your people that you're dating, if they also have kids. It's I can't even imagine how complicated it must be. And you're trying to probably keep it light, trying to see if you're even into this person. And then you have all these thoughts in the back of your head because like you have to because you're a mom
Yeah.
because you have more responsibility than just like, that's difficult to think
Yeah,
about.
no, it is very difficult. And even the schedules. I mean,
Mm,
if it's a dad who actually does see his kids, because I don't want to be with someone who literally doesn't have like any custody of their kids.
Yeah.
right.
That's a total turn off, right? So if then there's plenty of times you match with someone online and your schedules are complete opposite. And like you're literally like, okay, well,
Mhm. See you never.
that's what's going to happen. And I love you. Oh, we'll figure it out. I'm like, we're not gonna figure it out. And like the person I'm seeing right now, ours only line up every other Saturday night and Sunday. And
Oh,
so it's just what it is for now. And it's okay. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I have plenty of things to keep me busy on Wednesdays, Thursdays when my boys are with their dad. But it's like just a reality of you have to deal with it. And
yeah.
sometimes you have to make hard decisions. I mean, the last relationship ended because I was kind of protecting my boys because there was, potentially some things made up about that, like feeling uncomfortable about them meeting,
Mm.
his daughters and that they might like do something to them. And yes. Yeah.
Oh,
And they'd never even met. And like this was all made up. And I was like, oh, I
Hmm.
never. And so I literally like so when I say it's complicated, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
yeah. And how old are your boys?
12 and 14.
And just from knowing you, like that wouldn't even like cross my mind.
Oh yeah, and
Like,
have you met my boys? My like oldest son he's like a little old man. He's always been the sweetest little.
Oh,
The other day
aw.
he decided like this winter to teach himself knitting. Like
Oh, I remember you saying that. That's
he I'm
adorable.
like he always says like I love you when he says goodbye to go to school. Like and my
Aw.
younger son is more like the athlete and like a little bit more the bro, but even he's like he'll sit right here, just where my bed is. He'll read with me at night, like laying in bed, and when
Mhm,
he
oh,
wakes up and talks to me about his life and like they're
mhm.
just sweet boys. So yeah,
yeah.
things get really complicated.
Complicated. Mm.
Yeah.
Getting into like the dating apps world looks so scary because I was just like scrolling TikTok one night and this girl was telling a story. I think it was a girl telling the story about what happened. It was like not her telling the story of what happened to her, but like just, through the chain of events. But she had met some guy on, I don't know,
Hinge.
yes,
Hinge.
Hinge.
Oh, I'll
I
be
was
one.
saying Tinder and Hinge at the same time. I was like Tinge, one of those apps. And something that like I have talked about in the past is just like, being on your P's and Q's about safety. Like I think that's smart, especially just like around people you don't know, not necessarily just men, but just people you don't know. And they went on a date and he called her after and he was like, "Hey, I am locked out of my apartment. My roommates aren't going to be there. Like, can I come over?" She had just met this guy.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, it goes so south. He paid for her at dinner as he should be and was nice. So she was like, "Yeah, that's totally fine." Like me, I'd be like, "You're not
Oh,
coming over."
girl.
Oh, it gets worse. And so he comes over and then it's like getting late and she's like, "Yeah, so like what?" And that's probably like 12 or 1. And he's like, "Oh, no one's called me back yet. Like, can I just like chill here?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's fine." So she went to her bedroom. The only good thing she really did, well, one of the good things was lock the door. And this is not me to like victim blame, victim shame. It's just like, were those the best choices? Obviously not. That's just now we know better. But she went to her bedroom, locked the door, thank God. And he knocked on the door. He's like, "Hey, my phone is dying. Do you have a charger?" And she's like, "Yeah, like in the kitchen, go grab it in there." And then he comes back, it's broken. He's like, "It doesn't work. Do you have one in your room?" He's trying to get in her room. And she's like, "I know my charger isn't broken. Like I just used that." And she's like, yeah, there's another one, blah, blah, blah. So she calls the police. She hears the police come in. And then the police knock on her door and they're like, "Hey, everything's okay. You need to come out here and see this." And I literally have chills talking about this now. And on her living room floor, there was a tarp and I know, and power tools. He was gonna basically take a
What?
yes.
What?
So this is just a cautionary tale, everyone, not to invite strangers, no matter
Jesus
how nice they
fucking
are. Yeah, I know. I was like,
Christ.
that is scary. Is
Okay,
that?
I
What
just
are the
got
what are the
reverse
fucking
chills from that.
odds?
I know.
Like
I know.
you're gonna, oh my God, like that's some like
Mhm.
American Psycho style shit.
I
Yeah.
know.
Well, Allie, since you know this area, I'll tell
Yes.
you the story because I probably put myself into some bad situations when COVID like hit, and then
Yeah.
after that, when I was dating, it was still, it was like a year or so where things were still, you weren't
Yeah.
keeping up inside. So it was like Walden Pond. I was to go take walks with people to meet, and I was like, I'm probably gonna like kill me around Walden Pond. It was like, 'cause that's how you do. You met up to take a walk because
Yeah.
Yeah.
whole winter, I had my boots on, like walk around Walden Pond.
Was it like
Yeah.
isolated area?
No, there's a lot of, I mean, it could be, but there's a lot of people that like kind of
Oh,
walk
that's
Yeah.
like
good.
in the woods. But
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I mean, it's as far as to Maddie's standards, it would not be a good decision. But
Listen, I'm
also
on.
at the same time, like
Yeah.
it was during a time where you're like, well, where the hell are we? And like you have kids, you're like, well,
yeah.
like what am I supposed to do? But no, it's I mean, we can all look back on maybe some of the crazy decisions we've made, but when you have perspective, you're like, oh wow, that maybe was a little bit wild. And
Oh, I
now
know.
I'm not going to make those decisions,
Well, that's
but
why, Maddie, I signed up for another woman in our mastermind. Trish has this new
yeah.
program, like
Mhm.
self-defense to your phone. I signed up for that like the first day she was offering. I was like,
Oh,
because I'm one of
nice.
those people that's like, I'm tall. I don't, no one's gonna ever attack me. And then I'm like, oh, that's like not accurate.
We're actually gonna have her on. I think she's recording with us next month. So how are
Oh,
you liking
Hmm.
her course?
it hasn't started yet. It started.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
nice. That's
That's
exciting.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, just like dating in general, it's so important to remind yourself because you meet people and you're like, oh, they're a good person. Like this poor girl, my
Mhm.
God, I
I
would have
know.
to go into witness protection, change my name, change where I live, change the phone number. That's so scary. Like, was he
I know.
arrested? He better have been.
I'm sure, and the
Come
police
on.
were there. I'm sure it was some type
I
of
hope.
premeditated, who knows what.
That is so scary.
But yeah, I know. I
Wait,
should.
I
What?
gotta find out more of this story. Where was the tarp and the power tools hiding? I
I
gotta
have
look this up.
I have no idea. He probably, when he came, could have left like a. My thing would be like, what if he like kept it in his car and then went out really quick while she was sleeping? You know what I mean? Went and grabbed it. Like
Ugh.
people like that, like probably just like have it on hand because they're psycho.
Psychopath.
You know.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, we don't wish those dating stories upon anyone.
No.
I
Stay
haven't.
safe, ladies.
I need to get more active on TikTok. I'm not super active on there as much as I should be. But I was last year following that like woman that everybody was obsessed with that was talking about how did I marry the guy.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
Oh,
God, that was amazing. I was like locked in I was like,
that was
what's happening
good.
today?
That was a really good one. Oh, and I was going to ask because you also said this on your podcast that you were not making space and time for dating. And you're like, I want to be in a relationship, but I'm not making any space and time. Like, what did that look like? How did you
Yeah.
kind of get to that point?
So when I decided to start the business, I right around that time had the first kind of relationship I had been in after my divorce, long term. We decided we were not going to be together any longer, and I was like, I can't, like, I just can't date right now. Like, I have to just get this business launched and get everything going. But then I kept like telling myself that story. I told myself that story for years that, like, oh, you can either grow a business or you can grow a relationship. You can't do both at the same time. And there's some truth to like, making sure you're not running yourself into the ground trying to do all this
Hmm.
stuff. But then
Hmm.
it got to the point where I was like hoping some man was gonna like magically show up at my door, my doorstep. And
Hmm.
like
Mm.
again, my life is I'm not like out and about like town, like, I'm at my kids' sporting events and activities and, kind of, then I was working out at home because I had a nice home gym and I wasn't even going to the gym. So I'm not going to meet anybody anywhere. And so
Hmm.
finally, I was at a anniversary party for one of my first ever bosses, like mentor in HR. He was turning 50 and it was at his house. And there was like three different people I ran into who I knew from different walks of life that I didn't know knew him, which is so funny.
Mm.
And one I knew when I lived in California, like randomly, she was there and she was on like her third marriage and like, so I looked so happy. I was like, good for her. There's another woman I knew from HR and she was like, had just met someone after 10 years on the apps after her divorce.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I know. And then when I
That's
found out,
hard.
and she was about to give up and she was like, I love my life. My life is full. Maybe this just isn't meant for me. Maybe I'm,
Yeah.
just gonna, I love my kids and I love everything, and she was like in her 50s. And then she met this guy and he was the opposite. He's like, and I'd been divorced 10 years, but I was afraid to even get on the apps because I was going to
Mm.
therapy and doing work and whatever. And then they met.
Mhm.
Now they live together and we're happy. Whatever. That sparked in me to be like, you can't expect an outcome if you don't put in the
Mm.
reps, right? It's like I tell my
Yeah.
clients, if you don't practice and you don't put in the opportunities for you can't magically expect it to happen. And
Mhm.
that night I went back online, made a profile, met the guy that I dated for a year and a half after that. So
Oh,
Wow.
I love that because it's so relatable. So like dating or business, weight loss, anything that you are
Yep.
doing, it's always hard to make the space because
Mhm.
everybody's got a lot going on, maybe some more than others, but everybody's got a lot on their plate. But if you think about it, like, I'm never going to get the outcome if I don't do something.
No, you're wishing,
Um,
hoping, right? It's not a
yeah,
stress.
right. Like,
Mhm.
just like, please, just like give me like a good man. It's like, okay, well, you could do that all you want, but it ain't gonna happen unless you, especially like, it's so funny because like my fiance and I are definitely like very much homebodies. He's more extroverted than I am, but I'm like, oh my God, like if we weren't together, we'd like probably like be alone because like I'm not like trying to go out to like the bars and like meet some like random dudes. I'm like, that is just like a lot for me. Like I want to go out with my girlfriends. I don't want to be like,
Mhm.
that's just a lot. But I love that you did it. Like you took that action. Like we tell our clients, like sometimes you got to take that messy action and you're like, over here like walking the walk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this last time, so I got back on at like the beginning of January and I was on for like
Yeah.
2 weeks and I was like very much treating it like it was, I time blocked it. I was like, okay, I'm only going to allow myself access.
I'm gagged.
This time of
I
day, and
love
it's,
that.
you know how well, you don't know because you guys haven't been online dating. It takes over your life. It takes over your life. And so,
Mhm.
it's just like any app and scrolling. You
Yeah.
literally go down a rabbit hole of like,
Mhm.
swiping and you're not even looking at people anymore.
Oh, I've watched my sister's friends. They live in Denver, and Denver is known as you bring your own man to Denver because there are no men in
There's no
Denver.
hot singles in Denver?
Apparently, it's like a cesspool. So Love is Blind is filming in Denver, and everyone's already like, they haven't started yet, but they're already like, if you look on TikTok, they're like, this is exactly what you're gonna see. Like men who rock climb,
Oh.
men
I
who
was gonna say, I
bike.
thought there'd be a lot of single men.
Yeah.
The
No?
dating
Are they
scene,
taken?
I
They're,
think
they're
a
all
lot of them
taken.
I think a lot of them are taken, and it's just
Yeah.
rough waters out there. It's just
Okay.
rough.
Oh
But
Hey,
man.
I like
so
to say Boston's rough waters here, but
Girl, my friend, she is moving to Denver. She's like, I am not going to find my husband in Boston. She's like, the amount of like, because, and the only way I know about like Hinge or Bumble is because she'll be like, here, do you want to take my phone and like, let's look at some people? And I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, like this is fun.
Mhm.
I could see how it is a time suck. But
Yes.
she, the ghosting, the douchebags, the losers. And I'm like, you're a fucking hot ass commodity. Like, what is wrong? You're like, what the hell?
I know. And I didn't mean to like toot my horn or anything, but like I actually
Mm.
have professional photos for my business. You know what I mean? So it's like like it's
Yeah.
you see some others, you're just like they're and the men are all holding the fish. I didn't see as many men holding the fish.
Not the
The
fish.
fish.
It's
It's
not they don't
like
have any, they don't have any pictures of themselves, right? That's the only picture they probably have is like them holding
Yeah.
the fish. But
it's from like 3 years ago.
yes,
Literally.
but it is just it's exhausting. It's just really exhausting. And I've found I've been on and off like several times in the last 6 years. You've matched with the same people and they don't remember you. And I'm like, no, don't you remember me match? Like I'm like, oh my God, have you been the whole
Uh,
time? I'm like,
Does the chat history save or does
no,
it go
well, I
away?
always delete my accounts. So maybe it does.
Okay.
If you do
Okay.
delete your
oh.
account, but I actually, because I have them saved in my, sometimes you exchange numbers, right? So
Yeah.
if you search up Bumble or Hinge on my phone, it's
Oh, Bumble, and it's like Ben
there's
or
like a
something.
date Hinge,
Ben
date
Bumble.
Bumble, Dan Hinge, Dan Bumble. You could go
Uh,
on.
That is so
that's
funny. Oh my
hilarious.
gosh.
So,
Yeah. It's like there are so many incredible women putting themselves out there and it's like where are all the guys that can like meet the standard?
and
Where
I
are
feel
they
like they're
hanging
probably
out?
the thing is I've met some really great guys that like they probably feel exactly the same way. It's
Sure.
and I listened to this good podcast. Actually, Mel Robbins had someone on that like she works for Hinge. She's like a science like the relationship scientist, head of Hinge,
Wow.
whatever, went to Harvard, like some special whatever degree. And she was basically saying that like when we all complain about online dating, especially younger people complain about online dating, they're actually complaining about dating. And when
Sure.
I tried it, I was like, oh, that's fair because all of these things can actually happen to you, it like with actual dating too. But it's just that this is the vehicle we're using now to date more.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I always remind myself of that. That I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not like literally we wouldn't be meeting hundreds of people unless we were going to like a one of those. What are they called?
Speed dating.
Mixer,
Like a,
yeah. Yeah,
They
they have
have
one in
a
Pittsburgh all the time.
they have a speed dating or a bachelor bachelorette dating thing in Southie. and like you have to like apply and they're going to pick all
Wow.
these people and they can reject you. And my sister's friend was telling her about it. And I'm like, how awful. You apply and you get rejected. That would just be a below. You're already trying to find a relationship and now you're being rejected like
You
from
find a
this
relationship.
entity. I'm like, oh my God. Like dating, man. Wow. That is, and you have such a different perspective than like what I hear from like a lot of my friends because you have children, you're divorced, you're running a successful business. Like there are so many other elements. And it sounds like you bring the decluttering aspect to dating because like you're time blocking. You're like, I can't sit here and get lost in this. I have to make it worth my while and make it less overwhelming, I would say too.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
I love it. That's iconic. I'm like, I'm going to tell some of my friends about that who are like in the throes of like being frustrated with dating. I'm going to be like, set a timer and then get off. And like,
Yep.
yeah, I love that.
They'll still be there. Like, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
Literally. There'll still be a man
They'll still
holding
be there 6
fish.
years later. I can proof of that from like,
Oh God, that's hilarious. So where can our listeners find you, find your podcast, find what you're up and doing next?
yeah. So on Instagram, my handle is this, well, if I could talk, This Life Uncluttered. Also my website is thislifeuncluttered.com. And then our podcast is Wellness for Real Life. And we're on Apple, Spotify, a bunch of other places. So,
And YouTube
awesome.
eventually.
well, for this, I know I'm like, oh, we need to start YouTubing too. We're
Oh
gonna
yeah, and we'll put everything in the show notes too, so we'll have your links to everything down there.
Great. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you
I
so
know.
much. This has been super, super fun.
I
Yeah.
know, such a fun topics, and I love decluttering and just girl talk, so that was good.
Yeah.
No, thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.